Hello everyone, welcome to my new video. As you know, I've been living in Georgia for almost 2 years and I've been making videos about this country and its cities, but I'm always worried about the fact that I'm not a local and I don't know much about this place as the Georgian people do. But recently I got a message from one of my subscribers who is Georgian and who invited me to explore her city. It is a city of Rustavi. It is located about 40 minutes drive from Tbilisi and its population is about 130,000 people, so it's quite a large city. Of course, I decided to come there. So in this video we will learn about the city, its architecture and its Soviet history. We also will visit some abandoned places and also discuss politics and educational system of Georgia and so on. So for me, whole this trip was very educational and I hope that you will like this video as well. Let's go. Today I'm in the city of Rustavi and today I'm accompanied by...
Hello! Hi, I'm Elizabeth and I will be your local guide in Rustavi.
And I think it is so precious, thank you so much that you offered this. Yeah, because it's really cool that I will learn something new, something from a local person. Okay, Ellie, what are we going to see today?
Okay, so first of all, Rustavi is quite unique and interesting city in Georgia because it is purely Soviet city. It was built at the end of the Second World War. Everything that kinda you see was built during Soviet Union. So we will see some interesting buildings, some mixtures of architectures, and just know how locals live here and what is like for us.
Is this old brezhnevka buildings here?
Yes, so this city is a little bit of like a time capsule. So everything that you see around, this was built during the Brezhnev period. So you can see the buildings are like mostly 9th floor high and there's like tons of apartments inside with the elevator. This is also really important. And at some point during the independence, they tried to make this city a little bit colorful. And now we have these really ugly colored buildings here in the front. Next to the main street.
Actually, that's what they do in Russia as well, especially in northern regions. I don't know if it helps.
But the thing is that I think it's just like really poorly done. And maybe when it was colored for the first time, it was okay. But
yeah.
It's been a long time since I was a child, really. They had not really renovated this. And now it looks just, faded away, those colors. So I don't know, this is green, but questionable
it's
green.
It's supposed to be green?
Yes.
And oh my God, what do I see? The Western influence.
Yeah, that's American propaganda in Rustavi.
Oh my God.
Now this is the American Corner, which is like the youth center, I guess. It offers some sort of, courses or programs, workshops for young people. Personally, I'm not really engaged in it, but it's fine.
I just want to film this cap. I like how it's just laying here. And oh my God, the view of the mountains, it's very beautiful, but you're probably used to this.
It's actually the view from my house. It's not so high, like I would say in Georgia we do not really call like this kind of build. Yeah, so it's just like
a hill,
high hill, yes. But there's like also famous cross. At night it goes green. It's one of the signature symbol of Rustavi, I would say.
Oh wow, so it's like this TV tower in Tbilisi that changes colors, but you have your version of it.
It's always green. That's my favorite cat. Please, random applause to my favorite stray cat, who doesn't have one eye. I don't know where they lost it tragically. I'm a good girl. Meow.
So I also read during the ancient Georgian history there were a lot of fights and attacks from the neighbors, and in the 14th century Rustavi was completely destroyed by the invasion of Timur and only rebuilt in 1940 as a Soviet model town. So I wonder what has been happening here before 1940.
So, as you mentioned, city was destroyed by Timur, but it was destroyed like generally during the period when Mongols conquered Georgia. So after that, basically, there was literally nothing. It was not inhabited. And also when they started to rebuild the city, practically nothing was here. Climate here is quite harsh. It is considered like semi-desert. As you can see, like, okay, there are a couple trees, but if we go deeper, in some places there are like barely any trees.
It's interesting how they decided to rebuild the city here. Probably it was very symbolical to know that before on this side there was a city that was prosperous. So it's like a symbolism thing.
Not that I know of. To be honest, I could make up some story, but I don't know. I would say that the aim to build this city was to build industrial city. Maybe to turn some already existed city into industrial was more difficult. I don't know. I actually do not know very deep what was in Stalin's mind when he decided to build the city here.
By Rustavi cat, does he or she or they have a name?
I would call her Orange, like orange.
Is it orange in Georgia?
No, it would be in German.
You know German?
I do.
I'm only learning it.
You're learning German?
Yes.
Oh, good luck with that.
Bye, cats.
So this is a statue of our beloved poet Shota Rustaveli, who wrote the most precious poem.
The Knight and the Tiger's film?
Exactly. His name and surname, as we call it, is Shota Rustaveli. And as you can tell, the city is called Rustavi.
After him.
No, not after him because it was existed before. But his surname is after the place that he was living. Not this Rustavi actually. It was in south of Georgia, another Rustavi. But basically his surname means that he is from Rustavi. Not this one though. But it's okay. We are claiming him as a part of our city.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is a hotel, was built during the Soviet time also.
Yeah, it looks like this typical Soviet building. What is it called again?
Hotel, you mean?
Yeah.
We call it hotel.
Everybody
Everybody calls in Rustavi. We say, oh, let's meet at the hotel. And because there's not, I guess, so much hotels in Rustavi. So fun fact about Rustavi is that it is one of the most polluted city in Georgia for sure. And also in Eastern Europe because of its factories. Well, it was an industrial city, but besides that, there are some things that factory owners do not follow, some regulations, so they do not have a proper filter which would protect environment.
But doesn't the government have some rules and laws to restrict these factories somehow?
Well, good question. They do not care. Like there has been some movement to protect our air because obviously this polluted air affects us. But unfortunately there has not been any big decisions made against those private owners of these factories. Like now they are all private. So we're still fighting for that.
So this building looks like a typical Soviet brezhnevka or khruschyovka, but renovated, right?
Yes, they renovated like approximately 2 years ago, and they're renovating also some of them.
Is this a Soviet mosaic?
Yes, and they preserved it, and I think it's so beautiful.
I wanted to ask you about your attitude to the Soviet heritage, because when I was growing up in my hometown, we already saw the Soviet houses and the mentality as something old-fashioned and that is in the past. I don't know about now, it's kind of returning back, but do you feel that Soviet things is something that is far away in the past?
Okay, so I think it might be a little bit controversial for some people, for some Georgians, but I personally do love some Soviet architecture. For example, those mosaic that we saw recently, I really like it. It was part of Georgia. It was made also by Georgian. And also, when we go into old part of the city, I had always loved going there because I could really feel like I was in like a 70s Soviet Union, which I don't know, for some reason I loved it, and I do not think that everything should be removed and it should be like, oh, those time never existed. In those time there were some bad things, but also people were living, some of them, like normal life, and some of the things I'm really fan of, and I think it just at some point resemble one part of Georgian history. But some things I find it very ugly, like all the comic blocks. If they're renovated, amazing. But if there's like some building or some, I don't know, statue or like mosaics like this, I do not think that we have to like remove it and not leave any part of it there.
I also want to point out that we are saying this on the backdrop of I wanted to say Soviet Union flag, I'm sorry, European Union flag. And what is this flag to the left, do you know?
This is the flag of Rustavi, the flag of European Union and flag of Georgia, yes. Mm-hmm. We literally have more European Union flags than any European country. Everybody who came from European Union, they were like, why do you guys have so much flag? Like, I have never seen that much European Union flag in France or, I don't know, in Italy. Yeah, we have kind of obsessions. What do you say?
But what do you think about the recent decision of the European Parliament about pausing the Georgia's progress into European Union?
Yeah, that is so sad. As somebody who has lived in European Union, who has taken advantages of all the good things that European Union offers, and basically somebody who could travel and live in all of these countries thanks to European Union or thanks to services that EU offers. I'm so sad, but that is consequence of our government's decision. And honestly, if it was not like this, I would be so surprised. Hopefully we will manage to throw away our government on this year's election. Yeah. And then, I don't know, restart the journey that we were going through before.
Yeah, I hope that this will happen.
I'm not a fan of a McDonald's, just to say that. But if you have a McDonald's in a city in Georgia, that means that this city is like a big city, quite livable. Yeah, in 2016 they also opened it here, which was like a big, huge thing apparently, because if you wanted to go to McDonald's, you had to go to capital. But now here it is.
So now the scenery changes, and if behind me there are taller buildings, here it seems like shorter, and it's visible. You can see that these houses are different. And why is that?
This is unofficially second part of the history. Those buildings that are usually 5-star buildings were built during Nikita Khrushchev period, so we call them khruschyovkas. Now some of them, on those parts, they're renovated.
Are you okay? Yeah. You know, when I'm walking in Tbilisi, I'm stomping at this thing all the time. And now we walked away just like 2 steps from the central streets, and here
we can go inside to see like the Rustavi's apartments, yurts. Most of the blocks have one stadium and some playground.
That's nice.
Yeah, like buildings look like this. Pretty chaotic, I would say.
You know, I actually like such aesthetics, such atmosphere. I also see that some of these apartments are like extended apartments.
I think now it's forbidden, but at the time when they extended, it was okay, it was allowed. Look how big is the extension.
Yeah.
It's like a whole another house. They have extension plus balcony. This is usually like a social place for the...
like in Russian we call it like besedka.
Oh yes, we too. We too also call that brezhnevka. So Georgian version. That's usually like a place where neighbors gather. Recently I do not see so much socialization there, But when I was a child, like kids playing there, we were playing cards, we were doing like a picnics. I
That's
don't know.
nice.
It was very social, but now kids just play inside on their computer.
But at least some kids are playing sports there as well.
I would say now I see like a lot of kids playing football outside because of the achievements of Georgian national football team. Like if before 5 years ago I was seeing kids with like Real Madrid t-shirts, now they're just wearing Georgian
team.
players t-shirts, and I'm so happy about that. We really were like, okay, let's give up on football, but I think still like football is such a beloved sport in Georgia, and now that we had this sort of achievement, it was crazy. I've never seen such a thing as the celebration, for example, when we won against Portugal. But it was so pleasant, you know.
I used to hate football, but when I learned how much of impact it has on drawing people's interest, children's interest to football, like these guys, probably they imagine themselves like Khruschyovka or some other football players. So
I didn't like football. I was like, okay, it's just a bunch of guys following each other and for the ball. I really didn't understand the concept of it. But as I grew up, I just realized that, like, first of all, it is like healthy thing to do. It's just like moving your body sport-wise. And if we encourage children to play football, it's better than, I don't know, them staying inside. But also, I don't know what is in the football like this, but it really unites people.
we've been walking along this long street and I spotted a river. Is it the same river that is flowing in Tbilisi?
Yes, it is the same river. And from this part, Old Rustavi is starting. So basically, this is a part of the city that was originally built during a Stalin period. So architecture is quite interesting, and also, fun fact, Rustavi was built by German war prisoners. So many of the buildings that we will see are built by them, and many of them died here also, and they never get to go back to their own countries. And some years ago, some Germans were here to like dig some like remains of some of the men, and some of the like architecture that you can see are like quite not something that you would see in any other Georgian cities, even if it was built during Soviet periods. So because they were built by Germans. Maybe we will see them also.
Okay, let's go. What is the transportation situation in Rustavi?
Okay, so Rustavi got fancier late years. Now we have buses, like normal buses, the green modern one with the air conditioner inside, but also...
Yeah, thank you for preventing me from...
This is one main transport, but second is marshutka, which is minibus.
And this is the example of the bigger
Yes,
bus.
but this one, the yellow one, goes to Tbilisi. Basically, we do not have any other transport other than one bus for students that go to Tbilisi. So if you want to go there, you either have your own car or take marshutka, which is usually full and not very comfy. But also there are other marshutkas inside the city, which is the oldest cars, the oldest marshutkas you can ever see. They are in a really, really bad condition, but they're still operating for some reason.
I also read on Wikipedia that there used to be trail system, yeah.
Yes, there was. There still is actually, but it's usually for just cargo. There's just some goods going. When you walk around Rustavi, you might be very confused. Where am I? Is it Paris or is it Rustavi? Because we have our own Louvre. Yes, that is one of the attractions, and also we have our own Pisa Tower. You will be like, what are you talking about? But we have a building that is a little bit lean because it was not built very well. Yeah, like you can have like whole Europe inside of this one city.
I would also add that there is something like the Eiffel Tower over there, don't you think so? Now we are entering a recreation park and oh wow, the perfect time and the lights just turned on for my video. Thank you. So
They knew that we were coming. So this park is also very recent, renovated maybe 10 years ago. We actually have artificial lake.
swimming is prohibited. I wanted to also ask you about things that seem so Georgian and so unique for me. For example, attitude to children. Here I feel that people are more touchy with their kids and basically loving kids more.
I would say that for sure modern attitude regarding to being a parent has changed from what was before. I would say before it was more strict. They were raising children more like according to like these gender stereotypes and like maybe also unhealthy ways like hitting and stuff like this.
We love.
But nowadays I also see that like a lot of father involvement, more gentle parenting, you can call it. And I don't know, I've never been in Russia or I've experienced a parenting style there. But generally I would say Georgians are like really warm and like more passionate people.
Yeah, because it's not just my impression, but what many other Russians like me in Georgia, in Tbilisi, said that they're surprised to see that there are more fathers walking with their kids, and yeah, as I said, people are like more touchy. Or is it okay to say this?
Touchy, I don't know.
But I mean, by touchy, I mean
Affectionate.
affectionate. Yeah, I mean hugging their kids. I also heard the opinion from some Westerners who moved to Russia that it is Russia that has more like family representation, but I think that Georgia has even more of this.
Well, as I lived in, for example, when I was in living in Berlin, I would say that I was seeing like their parenting style was more like affectionated, like
Really?
yes, really. Like the father just carrying a little small babies, or even stay home, or like just spending all their free time with the children, or like it was very common to see like parents and their kids just all together going with a bike at home or somewhere. It was so cute. But here still mother plays bigger roles into raising the children. Father is more like somebody who works, but also mothers work. Mothers work also all the fucking time. Mothers usually work 2 times more at home and at their job.
Yes. Speaking about the post-Soviet countries, during the USSR times, even though, there was some freedom for women when they could work in a factory, but they had the second shift at home, and now in Russia it's happening like this. And also you mentioned gender stereotypes, that now there's fewer of them. I'm sorry that I have to compare Georgia to Russia. Probably you want to be compared to European countries, but it is what I have.
I mean, that's your experience.
Yeah, my experience. So there, during the labor class at school, we were divided by gender, and girls were cooking and boys were like studying electricity, and recently they started to learn
A labor class?
labor.
Sorry, I'm not sure what that is, but we do not have this.
You don't have such a class?
No.
But like where girls cook and...
What?
Okay, so I will enlighten you on this very progressive practice. So there girls learn how to cook, how to sew. I was sewing a skirt for myself, and so boys were taught carpentry, or to put a nail into the wall. And
oh my god, why not all of it?
Yeah.
They all seem so interesting, but okay.
So you didn't have, or maybe your parents had this.
I don't know about my parents, honestly.
Soviet
maybe they had, but I personally did not have anything like similar to labor class. It was pretty equal, but sometimes were these just comments from teacher like this boy's brain works differently or something like this. I mean, although in Georgia and I think fucking worldwide, girls show the best performance. Also in every school that I learned, girls were the best students. In university, the majority who go to university, it's a girl. There was just some social pressure, like you know, the math is not so girl thingy to study or something like this, but I would say that nowadays and also my generation are rebelling against the stereotypes. Maybe on like a sports lesson, just like boys were playing football, and honestly, me myself also including, we were just sitting and talking. But that was from many factors, because the sport teacher just was not forcing us to do something, and yeah, we would rather have stayed and talk, I guess, which was bad idea. Well, from my how you can see the football stadium. Usually there was a boys who were playing there always. It was like their place. But nowadays I see a lot of young girls playing football along with guys, which is amazing. Wow. It's not like one gender sport, football or any sport. It can be for everybody.
Okay, so here in the old Rustavi we found some USSR times mosaic, and it shows workers of the metallurgy factory. Here you can see different scenes from their work. Oh my god, this is so beautiful. We caught this moment. Very unusual stairs. Is it leading to the house entrance?
It's leading to the lab, as it says here.
Laboratory? Yes. We just stood out of the corner and the sun. We found some abandoned factory, and oh my god, this is a gem. There is an old train car and also firefighter's car. Wow. There's some desk. Oh wow, I see some Soviet wheel. It says here in Russian, it's like about anti-fog light.
Anti-fog light.
Yay.
Yeah.
Such a cool place for photo shoots, music videos, for such aesthetics enjoyers. Oh my god, be careful. Some furniture, you guys.
So this is a square dedicated to, in the first place, a friendship of a Polish and Georgian people. But here you can see a monument that is particularly dedicated to Lech and Maria Kaczynski, who were ex-president and wife of ex-president of Poland, who died in a plane crash. And important practice is that during 2008 Georgia Russo War, 5 presidents during a wartime came in Georgia, in Tbilisi, attending a peace protest. Those were president of Poland, Ukraine, Litva, Latvia and Estonia, which at the time was very brave things to do and really showed the support to Georgian people, and also to attract somehow international attention, because kind of people were ignoring that war. Ex-president of Poland, Lech Kaczynski, said that now it's Georgia, then it will be Ukraine, and then they will go to Baltic countries, and then finally it can be Poland or something like this. So he kind of predicted this war, and honestly this act, him coming here, even strengthened relationship of Poland and Georgia. I mean, I'm not fan of either those president or their party, but just I wanted to mention that.
I hope that his prediction will not come true. Well, it partially became, but not fully. Yeah. So what are the stereotypes or jokes that people in other Georgian cities have about Rustavi?
Okay, so it's quite funny how people perceive Rustavi, because literally this city is like a joke and a meme in whole Rustavi, because of 2 things: very, very polluted air, and also the second one is that we usually do not have access to water very often. So they cut it for, I don't know, some reasons, but it's always an issue. Like sometimes for 3 days straight in a summer, we do not have a water. So like, yeah, if somebody knows that, oh, I'm from Rustavi, they're like, oh, then you're deprived of water. Like, when was the last time you drank that? This kind of joke. This is a center of Old Rustavi. So basically, city is divided into two parts. This is Old Rustavi and the New Rustavi. And I would say that it's supposed to be city center, but it's too far from New Rustavi, so it is a center from old one. Everything was built at the end of the Second World War. And this is like the Stalinistic architecture here in Rustavi. And we also have the mayor building. And although like the buildings are quite pretty, it's just normal apartments, like people living there.
I was surprised to learn that people actually live in these buildings because they look fancy, and that's why I first thought maybe it is some like city administration buildings. A dog is laying just on this sidewalk, and it's another very common thing for Georgia.
The organization that, for example, helped me to go and live abroad and do volunteering with the help of European Union. However, recently Georgian parliament passed so-called Russian law, by their definition foreign agents law or whatever, which puts organizations like this in a danger of existence because they do not want to be obviously labeled as an agent and censored and so on, and they might close. Therefore, that means less opportunities for young people, less accessibilities to the programs that EU offers, and which is so sad, and I hope that will change very soon.
You shared that volunteers from European countries would come here and you would gather here.
Yeah, that was so cool that also so many people from, I don't know, France, Germany, Italy, whatever, was coming here, staying and living in Rustavi for a year or so, then exchange the culture between the Georgia.
Since now it's very dark, probably many people will ask a question. Do you feel safe at night in Rustavi?
Regarding safety, I would say that it is very safe. I can, like, without any problem, go out very late. I even walked like very drunk outside very late. I have felt one of the safest here than in any other like European cities. But we have like one district where it's just not recommended to go, but I think it's just a myth. Even if you go there, nothing will happen. It's like the place where there's like a lot of markets, but at night it can get creepy, but still I don't think anybody will tell you anything. Also, I walked there when I was working like nearby. So generally, like, it is very safe.
Even safer than in the European cities?
Like, I've lived, like in Poland, it was also very safe, but for example, Berlin, it's not safe even at daytime. So for sure, but also in Berlin it was safer than some maybe US states, some US cities. But as it's not so big city, Rustavi, that also can be contributor to the factor of its safety.
Yeah, I'm asking this because I would receive comments when I filmed something in Russia when it was dark. But I also felt pretty safe there.
No, let's say like no robbery, like that is also very rare in Georgia in general. There was just one time when I got robbed. My phone was stolen. I was like in a very touristic place and it was like very open in my pockets. And I was so shocked, like I could not believe my eyes because nothing was ever stolen from me and nobody that I knew. But other than that, in general, it's like very safe country and cities.
Okay, so we are finishing this video on the background of this Soviet building. This place really reminds me of a house of culture that existed in my hometown, but then it was destroyed and demolished by the authorities. But yeah, it looks so Soviet, these massive columns, and we saw a light there in the windows 5 minutes ago, so it's still operating partially.
Back in the old days, it was like a theater. Then it has been cafe for some time, but now I think it's just abandoned or nothing is there. But it has so cool architecture and it's still not renovated and it's kind of has its old appearance even now. and I really, really like it, honestly.
And also, you said that there was this Soviet symbol of the, what do you call it in English?
Hammer,
Hammer.
and I don't know the
I will
second
insert
name.
the
I
word
know in
here.
Georgian, but I don't know.
Yeah, I know in Russian. Yeah, it should be somewhere over there.
Yes, it's not very big.
So this is the end of the video. Thank you very much for inviting me here and showing around. And I like that we visited all the 3 parts of Rustavi, and that we learned also, I learned about Georgia, about lifestyle here, how the situation regarding the European Union and this foreign agent law. And yeah, thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome. No, it was absolutely an honor to introduce my city, and yeah, you can guys come and visit the city.
Like this video, write your comment, subscribe to my channel, and yeah, come to Rustavi. Goodbye, пока-пока.